All right, I know you guys are loving what you're seeing at home. Well, that's what you're telling us on Twitter. You are just loving these young ladies that we have in studio with us this morning. We're chatting to them, we're giving them the voice, and we're tired of speaking about the youth. We want to speak to the youth and actually hear from them, and that's what we're doing this morning. But because it's Women's Day, we've got all the young women that have gathered in studio with us, and we're just chatting to them and finding out how things are. So we have a new group with us. We've had them a bit earlier, but we brought them back to chat to us. Josejo, we've got Sinaso, we've got Latifa, and we've got Nobuhle. So one thing we haven't spoken about as yet is social media, okay? Because when I grew up, you know, when we had to do homework, we needed to go and sit in a library and find a book and pull the book out and look and read and open it up and try find information. Look at your faces. Faces, they're like, shame, that's terrible. I had to ask my mother to take me to the library and sit there and find a book and ask the librarian and walk around and have that beautiful smell of books in my nose, which you guys don't get to do very often. This is different. This is your life right now. But I want to know, is it making your life easy or is it actually making it a little bit difficult? So the good part I think we know, because you don't have to go to libraries anymore. You just type it in and it comes out. But there's a lot of nastiness on here, isn't there? Okay, let's start. Josejo, for you, what is the problem with this?
I think the problem is not knowing how to utilize it. And because there's so much exposure in social media, and when you don't know what to take in and you just take in everything because there's just so much, it ends up being detrimental to you as a human being because there's just so much. And you need to know what works for you and what doesn't work for you in social media.
Okay, so there's a lot out there. You need to filter.
Yes.
You need to see what's real and what's not real. And that for you is a little bit of a problem. What about for you, Sinaso? What's tough about it?
For me, I think with social media, people just feel a lot more brave to say things that they might not be able to say, you know, when you are facing them, you know, and you can see them and it's coming, you can look into their eyes and you see it. And I feel like that's taken away so much of, you know, elements of humanity because sometimes you feel like you can't be as nasty as you can because I don't have to look in her eyes and see the pain. Or I don't have to see how this makes her react. And also it's just feeling so much braver because they can't see you. And I feel like behind a keyboard and behind a keypad, everyone is just so much braver. And so I feel it takes away from you considering people's feelings. It takes away from the general just when you can see and you can touch someone, that just, you know, that quality of being sensitive. I think for me, that's what it is.
I find it strange, and I do, but I would never judge you because it's not my generation. My generation's much, much older. But I wonder how you guys socialize with one another because I often see groups your age sitting around a table, not speaking to one another, but instead like this the whole time, just with their heads down, banging on the keyboard, banging on the phone, and occasionally you look at each other and take a selfie, and then you do something with it. But you never really actually speak to one another physically. You're just on this thing the whole time. Is this how your life is? Do you interact? Go, Latifa, talk to me.
Personally, I don't think so because most of the time, my friends are the only ones I actually chat to. So then when I'm with them, I don't really need my phone.
So you actually do speak to them?
Most of the time.
Okay.
And then when we are on our phones, it's like, we are like, just like on our phones. But then
But
it's
you're
like,
talking to each other?
No, we're like on Instagram, looking, scrolling, laughing. Oh, look, laugh. And then we all laugh and then continue.
And then you look down again and find something else to laugh.
Like.
So that's kind of socializing these days. That's what you do. You don't sort of put the phones away ever and say, let's just talk to one another. Let's not look at funny pictures and stuff. Let's just talk.
Sometimes.
Sometimes you do that.
Yeah.
It's not as fun though.
Sometimes, my friends, we do this sometimes. So it's like whenever we're together, we put our phones down and whoever takes their phone first has to do something for everyone. So that's kind of the only way we get people to put their phones
Okay, so we
down.
try and take the temptation away. What about you? I mean, is your phone your life? Is it...
Yeah, they bear witness to it.
What they say.
But it's not even like I'm on social media. I'm literally speaking to one person the entire day, you know, simply because I'm not with them and I'd like to be with them at that moment.
Yeah.
But when I'm with the person or when I'm with the people that make me put my phone down, then it's like, I even forget that I have a phone sometimes. Like
Yeah.
sometimes I'm like,
So someone
I don't
actually
know
has
where
to
it
work
is.
hard to get your attention.
yeah. And it's the people that actually get me to put my phone down that I'm like, I want to talk to you.
Yeah.
Then I'm like, so if I'm around people, then it makes me like, if I can't put my phone down when I'm around you, then
Have you ever been bullied on a WhatsApp group by other girls?
yes.
You have.
That I
And
know.
how horrible is it?
Well, okay. I wasn't bullied, right? But it's like you bear witness to someone else being.
So you see it
And
happening.
you're like, I think because of the school that I go to and because of the type of people we are, it's hard to bully each other. It's hard to be nasty because someone always has a comeback. That person always has something to say, you know. And I don't know. Then there's no space for us to be like that to each other because we know that
Yeah.
if you grill me, I'm gonna grill you back. So there's no point.
There's no point.
Yeah.
I've got to wrap quickly, but because we've got to go to a break in sports news. But suicide is real. You know, I've read 2 stories in this news bulletin alone that is talking about suicide, and at the heart of it, besides the rape culture, which is another thing. Hopefully, we'll get to talk about a bit later. But there's also the bullying factor, and the fact that there are these groups, there are these nasty things being said behind the scenes, and maybe we don't jump to our friends to protect them, or you feel, let me just stay out of this. This is not, this is not where I want to be. Bullying, it's real and it's very dangerous. But for you, just very quickly, if I may get like 2 seconds from you, what do you think about bullying? How bad, how rife is it where you go to school in your generation?
Okay, within my school, I wouldn't say it's that rife,
Good, that's good.
but I would say around me, like within society and my generation, it's really like rife, especially with social media. It's easy to bully someone. Like she said, you don't see them face to face,
Yeah.
so it's easier for me to be nasty to
Nasty then, as opposed to in your face. For you, bullying?
At school, we really protect each other. I think that's one thing, we stand for. Because if this is my sister, nothing's happening to her and I'm just going to stand. But I feel like on social media, sometimes, when you do leave the school gates, some people do forget that, and as we said once again, like we are small, so you do see something. And I feel like we've been doing a lot to try to solve that, let's confront the problem that we saw on WhatsApp last night. When I see you tomorrow at school, let's talk about it, So I do feel like in terms of bullying, we're managing to kind of work through it, where we're moving it from, the internet space, into school.
Okay. Latifa?
I think at school I don't think that we have any problems with bullying because, like she said, we're more united most of the time.
Good.
So I think it's more when we're out of school and social media.
Okay.
So
Well, I'm happy to hear that you girls all stand together, but bullying is a reality. But when we come back and perhaps tackle, we've got more of the girls seated again. I want to talk about a reality of pressure on social media, of pressure of sending nudes, of being found by boys that are putting pressure on you to do things you don't necessarily want to do, to find out where girls are in society. These are some of the things that we're going to discuss with our young ladies that have gathered here. Don't go away, but when we return, Valen will bring us up to speed on the sports news.